everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Devin Sears. I will be joined shortly by my co-host, Mario Delgadillo, and today we are talking about 5 steps for getting started with your first WordPress website. It's January, it's a new year. What better time than now than to get started with a new WordPress website? Oh, and Mario is here with us now as well. Hello, Mario. How are you today?
Fun. Had a little technical difficulties, but we're up and
No worries. All right, let's take care of a couple housekeeping things, and then we'll kick it over to Mario. So let's get started. So as I mentioned before, my name is Devin Sears. I'm the Senior Field Marketing Manager here at Bluehost, and I'm joined today by Mario Delgadillo, who's one of our WP Live agents. So our WP Live team essentially takes customers and helps them with whatever WordPress issues they might be running into, whether it's changing your theme or updating your plugins. They can help you take the next step. So Mario is going to be our subject matter expert today, walking us through the 5 steps to getting started with your WordPress website. And before we get into that, just a couple housekeeping items. If you can hear us, then go ahead and drop something in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. The chat box should be an option over on the right. So if you can find that and just let us know where you're tuning in from, that would be wonderful. As questions arise throughout the presentation, there should be another heading up at the top titled Q&A. And if you ask questions there, then I will do my best to answer them as Mario is teaching. And any questions that we can't answer during the webinar, we'll hold to the end, and I'll make sure we have enough time for Mario to respond during our Q&A. Okay, awesome. Looks like we got people tuning in from Dublin. These are flying by really quickly. Seattle, Baltimore, New Zealand. That might be the furthest. Round Rock, Texas. That's actually just down the road from me. I'm in Austin, Texas. Well, we're thrilled to have you all here today. And one other thing, if you want to drop in the chat box, excuse me, we want to make sure that this is valuable time spent with you. So if you have a particular problem that you have when you're working on your WordPress website, then go ahead and drop it in the chat. So we'll try to adjust things as we're going along. If you have any issues, technical issues, you can drop it in the chat. You can also send a private chat to myself. And if you're still having issues and we can't resolve it, then I would just exit out and re-click on the link in your invitation, and that should get you back in. So without further ado, jumping into what we'll be covering today. We took some time and wanted to really take a look at where people get tripped up when they're building their WordPress website. WordPress is obviously a super helpful tool. It's very powerful. There's a lot of things you can do with it, but occasionally you can get a little bit frozen. Sometimes there's a little bit too many options. Sometimes you're not sure where to go and where to click. So we wanted to take a look at the top 5 things that we think will be most beneficial for helping people get out of the gate and get started with their WordPress website. So chapter 1 is going to be getting to know the WordPress dashboard, understanding the difference between the Bluehost dashboard and the WordPress dashboard, and when you'll want to be in which dashboard for help. Chapter 2 is going to be understanding themes. What are they? How to use them, how to evaluate them, how to install them. Chapter 3 is understanding plugins, same as themes. What are they? How to use them, how to install them, and then a handful of themes that we recommend that you could use. Chapter 4 is going to be your introduction to blocks. So blocks is essentially one of the building tools in creating your website. So we'll walk you through what blocks are, how to use them. And then chapter 5 will go to publishing your first page or your first post. And then a bonus chapter, bonus 6, is just a handful of resources if you're still stuck, things to help you get moving. And Mario and I have been working on this presentation for a while. We came up with a bunch of slides, and then we realized, you know what? This is probably going to be more helpful if we actually just go into a live demo. So that's what we're going to be trying to do today. Hopefully technology is on our side. Whenever you do something live, obviously there's a possibility for complications. So as we are going through this, just be patient. If anything happens, we'll try to fix it as soon as we can. But yeah, Mario's going to be taking us through it live. And I am going to turn my camera off as I'm responding to questions so that you all don't have to watch me watch my other screen where the questions are coming in. So I love seeing the Austin love in the chats. So without any further ado, Mario, the stage is yours. Please take it away.
Hey, thank you, Devin. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you here. So, without further ado, yeah, let's go ahead and get started on chapter one, getting to know the WordPress dashboard. So, one thing I'd like to cover here first is after you get signed into your Bluehost portal here, we'll get to know a few of the key features and the differences. Bluehost offers a wealth of hosting options where you can manage your domains easily. If you do have multiple sites, you can manage them on the My Sites tab. A whole lot of other stuff with emails. But with Bluehost, they do offer a single sign-in option, which is easily convenient for us to get logged in and get started here. From the Home tab, we can just view all of our current sites by clicking this drop down here. Today we're going to be working on the 2023 blog, and I can easily just click the Login to WordPress button. While that's loading, another method to log into WordPress, if you have your domain already set and WordPress installed, you can simply go to the URL, your domain name, /wp-admin. You'll be greeted here with a simple login screen here. You can click the login and it'll take you right here to the WordPress dash. All right, so getting to know the WordPress dashboard. What we'll be doing here is a few things to focus on actually are the WordPress top bar here at the top and the main navigation here on the left. So on the top bar, we have some convenient icons like the WordPress logo, a nice home icon with our site title here at the top. This will let us visit our site, and if we're viewing the site, this will be also our way to navigate back into the dashboard. We'll also see our comments section where we can view, manage, and respond to comments, add new pages, posts, and upload media on the fly here. And depending on the plugins that you have currently installed, they might have some other key features here. Bluehost, along with the Bluehost plugin, they'll also give us a site status checker here to let us know if our website is launched or not. Currently, my site is in the coming soon status. If I am ready to launch, I can just click this link here and it'll take us to where we need to go. All right, so let's cover the main navigation here. So on the left sidebar, we have, again, the Bluehost plugin. We'll get a little bit more into that in just a second here. So we have our dashboard tab. This will show us all updates here within WordPress. Very nice. We can manage and take care of our updates. If there were any active updates on this current install, WordPress will also have a nice little icon to let us know here at the top. Once again, some items may look a little different since I have the Jetpack plugin installed. We'll have some quick access links here on my main navigation. Posts, this is where I can create posts, manage them, and assign categories and tags to keep things nicely organized. Our media section here, if I wanted to upload JPEGs, PNGs, even audio and video files here onto my WordPress website, PDFs as well. Pages, more of the static content like your home page, about page, can all be managed here, and you can easily create a new page. We'll cover pages and posts here in just a minute. You can also manage your WordPress comments here from the main navigation. Moving down, we have some, again, plugin related content. If I did want to manage a contact form, I currently have the WP Forms plugin set up and installed. So I can quickly view my contact forms, create a new form, view my form entries, and a whole bunch of other settings here. The appearance tab, really important with getting started. This is where we're going to touch base here in just a minute regarding our themes and content. So appearance and themes will take us to view our current themes. We can install new themes along with browsing. The theme customizer is where we may spend a lot of time here as well. This is where all the theme customized settings. This would can include assigning your colors, uh, changing text size and font family, and a whole bunch more. Your website your website menu in the header here, where we can manage main menus that will be assigned to the website header. Some themes may also include some add-ons like starter site templates that you can quickly and easily get imported. We may touch base on that here a little bit soon later. I believe I have the Cadence theme installed, so we'll have some Cadence options. We can upload a theme, and for more advanced functions, edit the theme files. Plugins, um, known as the apps of WordPress. Um, if there's a function that you need, you might be able to find a plugin for that. We can manage our plugins here. We can add new plugins by deactivating. We'll go into that a little bit later. WordPress users, we can view and manage all of our user content on the WordPress users tab. Here we have one administrator. Um, a little bit to go over with the WordPress users. There are different roles. Currently, I am assigned to as an administrator, that being the most privilege in essentially a administrator is going to give me access to make changes all throughout the website. They also have contributors, editors, authors. This would be more related to folks helping me out with my website, writing blog content and posts. I may want to add an author or an editor. These roles would give them permission to also upload media and a few other things. But if I don't trust them with making full-on changes, or if they don't need all access to the website, you definitely don't want them too many folks assigned as an administrator. If you have Jetpack set up and folks subscribe to your newsletter or blog for updates, they will, once they sign up, they will also be added here in the users field as a subscriber. That way they can get sent email notifications anytime a new blog post, article, update is published. And moving along here, we have the Tools tab and Settings. A lot of things to manage here within WordPress. So let's go back to the Bluehost tab. A few important key items that we can cover from the home tab. Once you get signed in, we'll see we'll be greeted with this very nice roadmap that Bluehost has set up. If you do ever get stuck, I highly recommend coming back to this home tab. This will give us a lot of um, a lot of guidance on creating a homepage, a lot of the core functions that we need to get up and running for a nice our website up and running here. So creating a homepage, it'll give us some details here. If we wanted to create a contact form so folks can reach us, um, we can click here and click that blue button to add a contact form to the page. About page, very necessary, letting visitors know what the website is about and why we're here. So very awesome tool here that you have at your disposal to, again, keep you on track on getting your website up and running. Along here, we have the Marketplace tab where you can browse premium add-ons, plugins, and themes available that Bluehost has curated for us. We have a really nice staging environment that we can set up. This is helpful if we, um, for example, have our website established. Let's say we're changing some key items and we don't want it out and visible to the world yet. We can create or clone a copy of our website, work on that staging environment here on the back end while our current version of the website is live. Once we're satisfied with those changes, we can easily deploy those changes onto the production site and have it launched all at once. Really cool feature. There are some plugins that also are available that you can install that have the same functionality. The Bluehost plugin has that built in as well. Once again, moving back to the settings tab, if you can view automatic updates. By default, Bluehost will have your WordPress core updates set to automatic along with themes and plugins. That way your content is fully set up without, you won't run into any roadblocks and have to worry too much about taking care of updates. Having that set to automatic is pretty convenient. And once again, once your site is all set up and we're ready to go, you can come back here to the Bluehost tab, hit this switch to turn the coming soon page off, and our website is going to be live and visible to the world. Very cool. So that about covers the basics here, getting to know the WordPress dashboard. We'll move along to chapter 2, where we are going to cover some key items on understanding a WordPress theme. So as I mentioned, WordPress themes come in many shapes, sizes, and colors, and it can be daunting here. But a good place to start is, again, focusing on the appearance and clicking on themes here. If we scroll down, we'll see nice icons of all of my currently installed themes. My active theme is currently set to the Cadence theme. I think is really nice, has some really cool features and available blocks. So what is a theme? WordPress theme, in an essence, again, covers the look and feel of your website, the layout of your website header, whether you want a sidebar on the left, the right, or maybe some more customizable features. WordPress, there's tons and tons of themes available. So again, if we want to browse themes to see what is available, we'll scroll down below our currently installed themes, and we can click this Add New Theme button. This is going to take us to the WordPress theme repository. Once again, if we scroll down below all these notifications, we can see some of our currently installed themes, and we're browsing by popular right now. We can view these theme icons, see if anything draws to us. To view more details, you can hover over the theme and click on theme details here. Currently, this raft theme will have a star rating. We can view the current version of this theme and a few theme details here. Just quickly looking over this, I can see that this theme works perfectly with Gutenberg and other popular page builders like Elementor you might have heard of, Brizzy Builder, Beaver Builder, and again, Gutenberg, or also known as the block editor. And it also mentions that Raft is also WooCommerce ready. So if you're looking to build an online shop, this theme, if it might have all those key functions and features and compatibility, most importantly. So if we want to exit, we could just click this X icon. So whatever you may be interested in, we can maybe type that into the search. If we want a basic blog, we can type that in the keyword search and take a look here. We'll have tons of options, about 3,000 available. Maybe again, if today we'll be working something more pet related for a local grooming shop here. So maybe we can keyword search in pets. Now that narrowed down the search a little bit more to 146, but we'll have a lot of options to look and browse here. This will again give us a general preview on what the theme looks like. So let's go ahead and get a theme installed. One theme that is pretty popular that I would recommend is the Astra theme. As we saw earlier, that Raft theme had had a pretty solid rating with 5 stars from 7 folks who were kind enough to rate it. The Astra theme, if you're maybe on a Google search for best WordPress theme, this theme might pop up. So let's get some more details. And as we look here, we have a nice, pretty stunning preview here compared to some of the others we took a look at. And we can already see right off the bat here that this has over 5,000 ratings and a 5-star rating overall. It's in a current 4.0 version, so that might let us know that this theme is also constantly being updated and maintained. Again, we'll have some key details that we can look over to see if this theme fits what we might want. So it does also say that it perfectly works well with Elementor, Beaver Builder, and some other builders out there. WooCommerce ready. It is responsive, so that's good to note if we want to make sure our website is looking great on tablet or mobile devices. One great key thing about this theme that I really enjoy is that there are a lot of ready to import templates. So let's go ahead and get this theme installed. From this preview here, we can click the install button. And once more, to turn this theme on, we can click the activate button. And there we have it. We have the Astra theme installed once and activated. So once the theme is installed, you can also view the key details here. And if for any reason we want to get some more information about this theme's developer, how they're working, any updates, we can always click the link here for the theme author. So a few other items you might be thinking about. Astra, all themes that you can shop for on the WordPress repository are going to be free to install and activate and use on your site. So there are some premium themes out there that you may pay for. So some things that you may find beneficial with paying for a theme is you'll normally get one-on-one support directly from the theme developers. They may also, the premium version we may see here with Astra, may also unlock some additional features and functions that we may need to extend on our website. And some other nice add-ons. So if we are interested, we can take a look at, say, the Astra's developers website. They'll have a pro feature here, and we can, again, browse some of the key features. We won't spend too much time on that here, but just wanted to call that out. Along with the starter templates, as I mentioned. Another good reason why this is a really cool functioning theme. Visiting the theme website, we can also, get more details. Here we can see these are some of the ready to import starter templates that range from different types of business models. If we're looking to build an online shop or just a travel blog or general blog, you'll see that this theme has some of these starter templates available only in the premium or pro version. So let's go back here. All right. So now that we have the Astra theme installed and we have a little bit more details, let's go ahead and jump in and customize and set this theme up for ourselves. So once again, in the WordPress dash, we can do that by hovering over Appearance and clicking the Customize button. or clicking the customize button here. This will, once this customizer loads, this is going to show us all the key features and functions that this theme will allow us to do. And more options again available in the Pro version. We have some global settings that will allow us to change the typography. This theme gives us nice and handy presets that we can easily just click and choose on the fly. Another good reason to love this theme. If we did want to customize some of these options, we can go through and choose what we need to. That covers typography. This theme allows us to set in a color scheme. We can change the color of our body text, headings, clickable links, and accents. So many more features that this theme will allow us to do. We have a header builder. This will let us assign our main menu. If we wanted to move this here to the left or back over. In the header builder, we can upload a logo here, assign our logo, adjust the width if we wanted this bigger or smaller, shrink that up a little bit. We can add in our website title here. Visible here on the site. If we wanted to see how this is going to look on a tablet or mobile in the customizer here, we can very quickly, easily get a nice idea. We can also make changes here to the website footer and so much more. For now, I'm just going to, I'm satisfied with the changes that I did here with this header. So let's go ahead and publish this. And once again, if I wanted to get a live preview on what this, what my content may look like with some of my other installed themes, we can do that by clicking the live preview button, choosing the theme, waiting for this to load up. And if we're happy with those changes, looks like this is what the Cadence theme options offer here in the customizer. Once again, conveniently set up menus where we can change the color. Set things up for buttons. Adjust the typography settings here. A header builder. Let's go ahead and add my logo once again here with this Cadence preview. Shrink that width up a little bit. So let's go ahead and exit this customizer. I'll keep my currently activated Astra theme, so no need to save these changes. All right, we're still running with the Astra theme here. Once again, this theme does have some companion plugins that you can get installed. Browsing some starter templates, all conveniently located on the Appearance tab. And very nicely, we have some pet sitting demo. All this content we can import And if we have some ideas, we can simply change the text, insert our own logo, and begin customizing once this demo has been imported. Yeah, if you like, we can go ahead and do that now. Why not? Let's again add in our own logo. May need some work here. Let's click continue. We can choose a very nice color scheme. As you can see, the accent color for the buttons and this phone number to call is changing. I'll stick with the orange. There's some preset typography options. All right, we can enter in some information here. Let's see if we can get this all installed and set up. Well, that about covers some ideas and topics on chapter 2 with understanding a WordPress theme. And there are some premium and free options. What we You can always look around, browse some articles to see what is available. Some themes do have these ready to import starter templates, which are very handy for beginners or advanced users who just want a nice layout. So that you can jump in and get started and adding in your own content. Really cool, awesome feature that WordPress and these themes already have us set up for us. All right, so let's move on to plugins, understanding some plugins here. All right, so that theme was installed and activated. So I'm looking at a fully functioning demo set up here on my page. We'll come back to this uh, in a minute and we'll begin customizing our own content. Plugins, once again, can be compared to apps you may download on your phone for maybe a calendar. Some examples of plugins we can may need to take advantage of our contact forms. We can view our currently installed plugins by hovering plugins and clicking installed plugins. As you can see on this site, I already have some currently installed. On this table, WordPress will give us a nice rundown of what we have available. In total, I have 12 plugins, 8 that are currently active. Those will be highlighted here in this blue. And if I need to deactivate them for any reason, I can click that deactivate hyperlink. 4 inactive plugins, these will be in white. And once a plugin is deactivated, if for any reason I do need to remove it, I can click that delete button. So when deactivating plugins, this is a non-destructive way, maybe for troubleshooting, testing other plugins out. So it's essentially like turning on and off a light switch. If a plugin's not working, or if we just needed a temporary deactivation so we can make some changes, we can turn that off. Once done, we can reactivate it without any removing any of our settings that we had when we set the plugin up. Now, if you do end up deleting a plugin, just know that those settings will also be removed. So if you reinstall that plugin, you'll need to go through the setup once again. So we're looking at my currently active plugins. I have Akismet currently deactivated here. This is a very handy anti-spam plugin to prevent any type of spam comments. Very common type of issue you may come across with any blog on the web, even contact form spam. This is a really handy plugin that can help us out with that. If we wanted to track site data, there's uh, analytics types of plugins here. Pre-installed, we will have the Google Analytics plugin by Monster Insights. A little bit of setup, and it will link with your Google Analytics account, where you can start getting live website analytics data fed in right into your dashboard. I have Hummingbird, a website optimization plugin. This is going to help speed up the load time of my pages, compress my files. Um, I can set browser caching, um, everything you need conveniently to get that site moving as quickly as possible. Jetpack, another handy plugin I'd recommend. Um, Normally pre-installed, and with a quick sign up, free easy sign up, you can also get some optimization features, blog subscriptions, and a whole lot more. All right, so let's talk about how we can install a plugin. To do that, from the plugins tab, we'll just click the add new button. And very similar to the theme, like the theme repository here, we'll see some detailed info on featured plugins, and we can keyword search here on the right. Here's some popular plugins. Now, when browsing for plugins, there are so many available currently in the WordPress repository, but we can either do a nice Google search for handy plugins that we may or may not need. For example, the Akismet plugin that I currently have installed and not activated, we can see what this plugin does here in the details. We can get information about the plugin developer, and we can see another star rating here. This plugin does have over 5 million active installations, so it's safe to say this plugin it can be trusted. This plugin was last updated 2 months ago. Is also another key component when shopping or browsing themes and plugins to see when this plugin was last updated. Normally, we do consider plugins abandoned if they haven't been updated in over 12 months. I would keep a safe distance from anything like that. WordPress being updated constantly along with your theme, you want to make sure your plugins are also getting updated to be compatible. We have a green check mark to also let us know that this plugin is compatible with our current version of WordPress. Another great plugin that I can call out here is the health check. This will give us some uh, best practices when managing our WordPress website. It'll let us know if there are any important updates or any um, essential recommendations here with our hosting even. So let's search for a plugin. Maybe I want something that's going to help me with backups, keeping my website backed up and up to date. I can just keyword search in backup and view a list of over 1,000 here of backup related plugins. The top of the list, WordPress will show us the most popular backup plugins here. So one that is really great to use is Updraft Plus. Again, we can look to see it has over 6,000 ratings, all positive, 3+ million active installs, which is again a good thing to look at here. It was last updated about a month ago, and it is currently compatible with this version of WordPress. So let's get this installed pretty easily by clicking Install Now. This shouldn't take long. So now the plugin is installed. It's still not activated, so let's go ahead and turn this plugin on. All right, it's as easy as that. Now with this plugin installed, we can now go to the settings to set this backup plugin up. I'll go ahead and do that for you now. So from my plugins page, I scroll down to Updraft and I click the settings button. Now it took me to the Updraft settings. And you may notice here at the top as well, after I installed the Updraft Plus button, now in my top toolbar, I have some really convenient quick access links if I wanted to back up my website, restore that website, and other key options. So with Updraft, you can take a quick and easy backup here by clicking the Backup Now button. We do recommend that you back up both your website database and your local files here. 2 clicks and I'm backing up my website here. We'll have a nice status. Depending on the size of your website content, it will depend on how long this backup will take. I just imported that starter template. Okay, well, that didn't take too long. All right, and if we scroll down here, I can see my existing backups. The total space that these backups are taking on my server, about 237 megabytes. And I have one taken on the 25th and today the 27th. If I did need to restore my a previous version of my website, you can just click that restore button and it'll walk you through some quick and easy steps to get that all done. You can also set a schedule for your backups with this Updraft Plus plugin, another good reason to love it. Here we can click on the settings, and once again, like it asks us in the backup page, we want to schedule our files and our databases scheduled at the same time. Let's schedule this to take backups weekly, and this will retain 7 scheduled backups here. When making changes on any page, it's important to click the Save button before you navigate somewhere else. Another cool thing with this Updraft Plus plugin is they'll have a way for you to send a remote storage copy of this website backup. You can send it to some pretty neat places like Google Drive you might be familiar with, Dropbox, Microsoft OneDrive, and a whole lot more. You can even email it. So let's scroll down looking for the Save button here. We'll have some other options, advanced options if you need to. Typically, my experience with a lot of these plugins, the general settings are a good way to start. No need to tweak or change a whole lot of other stuff. Let's save those changes because I changed my scheduled backups from daily to weekly. And if I go back to the backup and restore, we'll see that the next backup is scheduled sometime in the future. All right. Some other really great plugins haven't mentioned yet. If we go back to our installed plugin page, for search engine optimization, getting a good reputation and ranking on Google, Yoast SEO is a really great way to get started there. This will give us a lot of best practices. We'll see that here in just a second when we start working on pages and posts. I'll show you where we can add in some unique info to let the search engine know what our pages and our content is all about. Once again, another great example of a plugin. We can see the WP Forms plugin. Let's scroll down here. I can create a contact form, add it onto my page, and have folks sign up. If I needed to edit or make any changes here, this plugin has a convenient spot in my main navigation. So that covers everything about in chapter 3, understanding the general um, ideas on plugins. I showed you how to really easily download, install, and even set up a backup plugin. Really important with getting started with WordPress to give you that extra peace of mind. Some plugins that I'd recommend, once again, um, if we're talking about search engine optimization, the Yoast SEO plugin has a uh, really great free version. And if you're ready to make the next steps, you can always go premium. For speeding up your website, load time can also tie in with search engine optimization. You want your page to load as quickly as possible. Hummingbird is a great place to start. There are other optimization plugins. In my experience, Hummingbird has a great user interface, great details, more beginner and intermediate friendly. For contact forms, you might be good with WP Forms here. With the free version, they'll have everything you need to create a simple contact form to gather names, emails, and comments on your website or blog. If we wanted something a little bit more robust and advanced, Forminator I might recommend there. This can let you create surveys, whole bunch of other features when adding onto a contact form that the free version with WP Forms may not offer. Website security is definitely a must. I highly recommend checking those options. For that, we can look into a plugin I would recommend called WordFence. Again, if we search these plugins here, uh, in the plugin repository. All these normally all of these plugins that you can download are going to be free. Now they may have some features, some other functions locked behind a premium version, but I recommend looking over those options before you choose to go that route. But anything you download here, WordFence for example, you can instantly install and set up on your website, no charge. This instance of WordFence will help with blocking spam IPs, visitors, and a whole lot more. Notify you of any recent breaches with other plugins and themes, vulnerabilities. Really great plugin. Again, free, has plenty of active installs. So let's go ahead and activate it here. Backups, like we covered, a good place to start is the Updraft Plus. So let's click out of here. We won't set up WordFence just yet. Updraft Plus is a great plugin to get started with um, taking safe, clean backups of your website and helping you restore if for any reason you need to go back. And for to mitigate any spam contact form submissions and comments, I would highly recommend the Akismet plugin. Once again, you might need a few things to set some of these plugins up. Akismet, for example, I'll need to set up an account. Once that's done and set up, it'll quick and easily walk you through the process and have that anti-comment spam all fully functioning and set up. Good thing to give you that peace of mind is once a plugin is all set up and done, you won't have to come back too much to change any of the settings. All right, so that about wraps up the basics with understanding WordPress plugins once again. So let's jump into the blocks builder. Understanding what Gutenberg is and how it can help us out with creating pages and other content. So let's go ahead and use a post, for example, to get familiar with the block builder. Another cool thing that I want to shout out and let you know that WordPress does have a free sandbox for Gutenberg. Nice introduction to let you know what the builder does, the key features that you can go to right now. You can go to wordpress.org/Gutenberg, and it's going to take us into the builder where we can start making changes right here on the fly. Hello world. Good way to make a good start on your posts. Let's go back to our dashboard. Yeah, wordpress.com/Gutenberg. All right. So on our posts here, if we click on posts, all posts, we can view this convenient table here, very similar to what we've seen before. We can see that all posts that I have are just have one post here. That post is published. Do have 2 posts currently in the trash. From this table, we can see what the categories are assigned to this particular post. We can assign tags that might help make our content a little bit more searchable for users, and the comments that are currently attached to this post. So to create a new one, we can click on posts and add new, or if we scroll here to the top by the posts heading, we can click the add new button. So this is going to take us right into the blocks builder, where I can tell you more about that. Let's get this notification out of the way. All right, so a few things here before we get started and adding content. Once again, we have a nice setup top bar. This WordPress logo we can click on to take us back to the WordPress dashboard if we need to. We have this add block section. This is going to open up our block browser where we have these building blocks all available, conveniently available for us to use. I have a extension set up here, the Spectra plugin. This is just going to give me some additional styling options and different building blocks that I can use. Everything is categorized pretty nicely. As I quickly scroll down here, I'll show you some of the basics building blocks to creating any posts or content. Here we have a paragraph if we just needed to write plain text. If I had my content written in a Word document, I can add a paragraph block and really easily paste that stuff right in. Heading block to start off any new section. Again, very conveniently, when I hover over these blocks, WordPress is going to give me a nice detailed description, what this block is mainly used for, and a cool little preview. Lists if we needed to create those, maybe for recipes or maybe covering a how-to article with different key functions or features, anything related to this post. Have a nice quote block, a classic block here for anyone more familiar with the classic WordPress editor, a code block that will let us display snippets of code, a nice table that we can build, pull quotes, pre-formatted text to display, a verse, and a whole bunch of other things. We have media in the media section. Of course, if something that makes content a lot more richer is having a visual image to go along with it. So we can add images fairly easily, add a gallery if we need to, audio, a nice cover. We can add files to make them downloadable, and some other styling blocks. You can even add videos, embed videos from YouTube or any other place where you'll have those videos hosted. These design blocks will let us keep things together in place where we can begin styling our building blocks into columns, sections, and a whole lot more. And once again, the list goes on. And another good call out, I have the WP Forms plugin installed, and along with it, they have their own block. So if I did want to add my contact form onto this page here, I can simply use this block. So let's go back up to the top. We can hide this block toolbar here. Since I have the Spectra theme, I can browse again preset templates and patterns. This will save us the headache from trying to rebuild the wheel, so to speak. It's not fully loading, but we get the idea here. All right, so for this post, we can easily add a title. Every post begins with a title. Once you hit the enter key, we can continue to write, or for shorthand, we can click the slash button, and if we know the block we want to use, or we can click this plus option for another quick access link to some of our most used blocks. We can browse all. This is going to open up that sidebar once again. And WordPress does have patterns here. Let's see if we can get any to load up. All right, and with the settings, another thing that, there we go. So another thing that I wanted to, once we add this here, I'll cover with you the block settings and the post settings. So if I like the style here on this preset pattern, I can easily add it and begin editing. On the top bar, if I click the settings button, the right sidebar will appear with some more block customization options. Again, it'll have that nice description. Since I currently have the heading that I'm working on here, I can change the color, change the background of that heading, and the color if this was a link. We can customize the typography here as well, and a whole lot more. So if I click the outer section here, this is going to let me know that I have the cover selected. This is where I can add an image or video with text overlaid on top. It says it's great for headers, so why not start our post this way? We have some customization options here. Since my site is more pet related, you may also notice that we have a toolbar listed here at the top. We'll get this background changed. So if we click the replace button, we can either open up our media library or upload an image. I have something already here in my media. I'll choose the image and hit the select button. Very quick and easily, we have a nice, pretty image sitting in the background. And let's put our site information here. Oops, went a little bit too far back. What we can do, since I removed that section, I can click the undo button here on the top toolbar, and here we are. Very nicely done. We still have some of this demo content available. We have a nice quote. We can click these three dots to edit this section. Let's get this removed. In this preset pattern, looks like we have a spacer. I don't think I need use for this, so let me also remove this spacer. Every heading could also use some descriptive text to go along with it. So let's do that now. I added a paragraph block pretty easily, and let's add a nice tagline to go along with it. Very simply added in. Let's see if we can change the color of this text. If you recall, with the theme that we chose, we also chose a preset color palette. So here we have these nice colors to go along with it. Let's choose this orange, and how about we assign the same orange so it's on theme. All right, so now we have a nice cover. Let's add some text in here. That'll be okay for now. All right, so once we're satisfied with the look and styling of this post, we can view some of the post options here on the settings toolbar on the right side here. Since again, here we can choose the visibility, if this is going to be a private or password protected post or public. We can publish this post immediately, which is set by default, or if this is time sensitive, if we're posting or publishing articles every Friday, second Friday, whatever we may like, we can choose the date and time here. Let's get this scheduled for next Friday. Really awesome. We can stick this post to the top so it's visible always at the top. Categories. So with every post, we can keep our ducks in order and keep things organized here. We can do that by assigning a category. Here we have some previous categories that we were utilizing, and by default, WordPress will have an uncategorized category. All posts need to be categorized. So if we don't have anything selected, it will check that box for uncategorized. So let's just call this pet grooming. And we will add new. Once that category has been added in here, for the next post that I create, if it's related to that category, we'll just check that box. All right, and if for any reason we need to be more specific for our categories, for example, we may have dog grooming, cat grooming, etc. Let's go ahead and create a new category, a subcategory of pet grooming. Parent category will be pet grooming, and we will add new. There we have it. And just to keep things for future reference here, let's say we groom kitties as well. All right, put that in under the pet grooming here as well. So any articles that I write or are related to, say, dog grooming, we will put it in the respective category. And tags to make things more searchable on our website. We can add a couple of those here now. So let's say we are grooming small dogs. And let's see, how to's. Add as many tags that you would like to any post. Same goes with categories, but I highly recommend keeping things fluid and organized for our visitors to be able to navigate on the site. We can assign a featured image for any post. Let's use the same one here. And we have an option here with this to whether or not to show this featured image in the post or hide it. We can add an excerpt or snippet and the comments or discussion section where we can allow comments on this post if we want folks to tune in or chime in, and allow pingbacks and trackbacks. That will let us know when someone is commenting or if there's an open discussion. All right, so we're done here with this post. So let's go ahead and get that scheduled. All right, so this post is scheduled. We can view this post, see what it looks like on the site. All right, to jump on over to the WordPress dash, we can hover over the site title and go to dashboard. All right, so now we've made our first post here. Let's jump on into the second half of chapter 5 and go into publishing a page. We'll be using the same Gutenberg block builder. This time, I want to take us back to the WordPress plugin, where once again, it will give us some key tips and a nice little roadmap on getting started and best practices on creating some of the most important pages on a website. Let's go ahead and see about creating a contact page. From here, we'll click Add Contact Page. We'll let this load up here. All right. And accessing this way, Bluehost is going to give us some key tips on things to look at when creating a contact page. All right, so we see there's a simple contact form added. And these are the essential fields. Normally when we're requesting information on a contact form, we want to generate as many leads as possible. So the longer the form, the more likely folks may abandon the form. It's letting us know that the WP Forms plugin is where this contact form is created here, where we can read responses and change the details on the current contact form. Many more tools available here within the WP Form settings within the main navigation. And a friendly reminder to have us check and test this contact form before we launch it and make it live and available for folks. So here we already have a simple contact form page created here for us just by going through the Bluehost plugin. Let's see if we need to edit or change anything. Once again, since this page is related to our pet grooming organization, we'll go ahead and try and add some customization. All right, I'm satisfied with the current form that we have. So let's keep it at that. One thing I'd like to cover as well, at the bottom of every page and post, we have the Yoast SEO info. So this is going to be important for every page on our website. We can add in a focus key phrase on what this page or what the content on the page is about. If we're looking for visitors who might be searching on Google, we want to put ourselves in their shoes and think about what they may be typing to find and land on our page and content. So maybe we can put pet grooming. All right. Can be as simple or complex as we need it to be. Some key callouts for a focus key phrase. We can keep it about 3 to 4 words. All right. And the metadata that will be visible here in a Google preview. Can't really see it. Let's add some more info. All right, there we have it. All right, so we got this contact form preset and set up here for us. Let's see. Let's get this published. So along with pages and posts, we will be, again, building using the block builder. This is going to have all the related building blocks we need to get a fully functioning and pretty good looking site built and set up. All right, oops, let me get that updated. And just out of curiosity, we can take a look and see if there are any templates that we can install. Keyword search contact, and we'll have some pretty neatly styled contact forms that we can insert. Or contact form pages, I should say. Let's see, this one looks decent. I think we can work with this. And we're getting this page imported. The content is going to be visible here below. Now this preview isn't too nice, but on the editor, but we can preview the page here on the top bar, get a better look. All right, this is a work in progress here, but if we scroll down, we can see that template that we just imported. We can switch back over to the tab, maybe get this form removed. Let's clean up some of this content here. Again, by adding in our site information, customize really easily. swap out this image with something on brand. There we go. I'll keep this list here because I think I might find use for it later. We have a preset form here. So let's go ahead and make sure it's our contact form. By clicking the settings tab on the right side, we have the WP Forms block information that we're working on, highlighted in blue here. So let's make sure we have our contact form selected. Looks like this demo came, this template came along with an additional footer, some hours and info. That actually might be handy in the future, so we'll keep that as well. Once again, pretty easily, we got this form updated. So that'll cover the basics on creating posts and pages. All right. So every landing page should have some key info on what we want our users to do for any page, I would say, on a website. So that about covers everything we need to know about getting started with posts and pages, learning themes, understanding what a theme does, the basics of WordPress plugins and some key important plugins. So with that being said, I'm glad to have you along here with me, and I'll pass it back on over to Devin so that he can give us some more info on some related resources.
So the right resources. If you've made it this far and you still have questions, what are different ways that you can get help? There's a couple of online options for Bluehost. You have the Bluehost blog. You have the Bluehost contact me page. We also have a YouTube channel where we upload our webinars, and we have a bunch of content there. And there's also a bunch of other different helpful blogs out there like WP Beginner. They're a great blog. They have awesome content that is great at walking people through. Eric, I see your question. I'll answer it in just a second. And then if you want further assistance from Bluehost, we've got a couple different options here. We have professional services, and you can click the sticky note above the chat where it says get help with your website today with our WordPress experts. That will take you to a page where you can have professional WordPress users such as Mario walk you through whatever situations you might need. I mentioned bluehost.com/help and youtube.com/Bluehost. And we also have our regular support line. The support line is meant more for hosting support, not for WordPress support. So sometimes they can help with one or two small things. But if you need help with your WordPress website, I would look at some of the things on our blog or our YouTube channel. And if you still would like some help with that, beyond that, you can get help by, clicking on the link in the chat and get help with your website with one of our WordPress experts. So you made it to the end. Thank you so much, Mario. Let's see if we can bring you on. We're gonna. I'll answer some questions while we see if Mario starts joining. Eric, landing page versus a home page. A landing page can be a home page, but once you start having a fairly okay, I think Mario's joining us. Awesome. Okay, Mario, hang tight. I'm going to answer Eric's question. A homepage can be a landing page, but sometimes if you are doing a specific campaign, like a marketing campaign, you'll want a specific landing page. An example of this, perhaps if you have a podcaster that you like to listen to, they'll often say, hey, listeners of my podcast, go to whatever the website might be / my podcast, and it'll go to a specific landing page that has a unique sales proposition for those listeners. So that would be an example of a landing page that's a little bit different than a home page. So a landing page is basically the first page that a visitor would see. Often that's a home page. Sometimes it's a specific page that's curated for a specific campaign. Okay, Mario, can you hear us and can we hear you?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Perfect. Welcome.
Sorry about the issues. I was trying to answer as many questions I could in the chat.
I appreciate that. Let's go and take a look at some of the Q&As. I will stick around a little bit longer to answer any of the questions. For people that can't stick around, we'll probably try to re-record this or send out this recording to those of you that tuned in. Okay, so can we cover design with WordPress Gutenberg? I'm having an issue wrapping text around images. Okay, so Mario, do you want to respond to that one or do you want me to?
Yeah, you can go ahead and take that one.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about Gutenberg. For those of you that are not familiar, Gutenberg is essentially the block editor. So when we talked about blocks and how to build a website with blocks, that's Gutenberg. So I think if you are, I think that might be a little bit of a formatting question. So you might want to look for a block template that has text wrapping around an image specifically. I suspect that there are other ways. And Mario, if you want to shed any light on that, then feel free. But that's how I would go about that, Jay.
Yeah, there's also many Gutenberg block extensions. You probably want to house it inside of a group block. There's also a handy cover block where you can have an image background with text laid over on top. Really good for call to action sections and landing pages.
Awesome. Next question is from Beverly. If you're still on, Beverly, she said, I don't know how to rename the menu items on my website or rearrange the pages. So Mario, can you tell us where we would find that in our WordPress dashboard?
Yeah, so mainly in the there's the you'll have to hover over appearance. The menu is controlled by your theme, and under the appearance tab, you'll see a menu section where you can build multiple menus. Has a drag and drop type of structure there. So you can reorganize your menu items, change the names, add new pages, and a whole lot more.
Awesome. Perfect. Let's see. Charles Warwick asks, how do you set links from your first page to subsequent pages?
Oh, well, you can always add. There may also be a block for that where you can, for example, like your blog, you can add pagination. You can add a button link. Um, and you can kind of disguise it if you don't want it so flashy as a button. Just add a read more. Typical blog sections do already have a read more type of built in for the blog snippet. So there's many ways, but you can try a button link.
Perfect. Let's see. Going through a lot of questions still. Let's see. How do I install my WordPress theme? I believe we covered that as we were going through, so we're going to move beyond that. Okay, so can we create another website once we already have one site? Do you want to answer that, or would you like me to?
Yeah, so with your Bluehost plan, normally will allow you unlimited websites. So to create another one, you can click on the My Sites tab, and on the top right, there should be a Create Site button, and it'll walk you through the steps, adding your site title, tagline, and things of that. If you have another domain, it'll let you choose which domain you want to assign this WordPress website.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. I believe the Bluehost only has one product that limits you to a single website, and that's just kind of like a beginner getting started hosting product. And above that, you can have as many WordPress installs as you'd like. do you know of a theme that is geared towards embedding videos, Mario?
Well, a theme is not really going to control that. It may have some options in the theme customizer. You may also notice it on the demo, but any WordPress, you can add a media block or video block. Gutenberg also has a YouTube block you can embed pretty easily onto any page. So not really controlled by the theme. You might find some templates, say with the Astra theme or the Ocean WP theme, but you can embed or add a video, audio anywhere.
Perfect. Anne Neeland asks, once I launch my website with a particular theme, do I need to change the theme as time goes on so it's still actively being developed?
Well, you can that might kind of lead you into maybe purchasing a premium theme. They're normally at an annual cost, but that might give you some peace of mind, uh, given that the developers are will actively and continue to work. They may also give you an update one way or another if the theme will no longer be maintained.
Yeah, and when you're in your WordPress dashboard, there should be the option to update your theme. And so that is essentially when the developer continues to actively develop the theme, it pushes something out to everyone that has it installed that says, "Hey, there's updates that have been made," kind of like the apps on your smartphone. The developer pushes the updates, and if you have automatic updates turned on, then oftentimes Bluehost will just go ahead and update that for you. If you don't have that turned on, then you'll have to go in and manually select that you want to update that. However, I will put a very, very small word of caution with that. If you do any customizations to the themes, I would highly recommend having a backup available before you run the update, because sometimes with the update, it will overwrite some files within the theme. So if you've done customizations, if you do an update, it might overwrite those customizations and you'll lose those. So always have a backup to make sure that updating the theme does not break your website. Teresa asks, where do I see the number of users and whether it's mobile compatible? I'm assuming this is in regards to themes. Do you want to answer that, Mario?
In the theme customizer, you may also see a towards the bottom responsive mode. There's typically three themes. Three styles of responsiveness. We'll have a desktop icon, a tablet icon, and a phone icon. This will give you a good general preview. Also, when editing a page inside the block builder, you'll also notice you can click the preview button and you can select the option of desktop, tablet, and mobile to give you a good general idea on what this page will look like on these responsive devices.
Perfect. Thank you. Next question. Do I need Yoast or an SEO plugin in order for Google to find my blog?
Um, Typically, no. Google will normally scrub the web for any new websites. It's always good to build that relationship with these search engines, Google, Bing, etc. Um, and Yoast really helps you out with that. They'll get you a sitemap that you can create a Google account and submit that to, and they'll also guide you in the best practices on pretty much telling what your telling the search engines what your pages are about, adding keywords, things you want to focus on. So I highly recommend something like Yoast to build that relationship with the search engines.
Awesome. Okay. I think we've got two or three more questions, and then we'll probably call it there. Someone asked, can I convert a non-WordPress site to a WordPress site?
Um, the the short answer is no. I wouldn't recommend it. It's like things don't always work the way uh, that way, and WordPress it really isn't a conversion tool. Um, maybe you can reference those pages. Typically, you can build anything with the block builder as well. So if you have that site built already, you can use that as a reference point when rebuilding it with blocks. I think you'll be a lot more happier.
Perfect. Couldn't say it better myself. The next question is about staging. There's a handful of staging questions that have come in. I'm gonna suggest we tempt fate and we have you share your screen and walk us through how to create a staging environment if you're okay with that, Mario. While
Sure
you're
thing.
while you're getting that set up, I'll read the question. Brett Tambling says, "Can you discuss staging options?" I think this has been asked a few times. Do you use staging site plugin or just set up a second website and repoint the domain when wanting to change from one production website to another? And then I think someone else um, asked a question about exactly how staging works because they created a staging environment, but then when they migrated it to live, it overwrote some of the new updates they had on their live site. So I think maybe just a brief overview of staging, if you think we can do that.
All right, so to get to the staging area, oops, we can do this from the Bluehost plugin. Click the staging tab, and we can easily just create a staging version of our site. This can take some time, so be patient here. It's essentially just making a full copy of your website. So depending on the size of the website, it can take some time.
And while it's loading, I'm going to answer another question I see in the comments. Robert Kleps, how do you test a theme before installing it? This right here with staging is what I would recommend. You can
Yeah,
just basically
absolutely.
make a clone of your website. And as I'm sure Mario will demonstrate in a moment, once you click on that, it'll take you to something that looks a lot like your dashboard, but it'll say staging up at the top. Yeah, that's what's going on now. And then from there, you'll have the same access you have as you did on your other ones. You can add plugins, you can change the theme. So I highly recommend using this as just kind of like a break it room, so to speak, or a break it box where it's like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to try something and maybe it'll break it and maybe it won't. So
Right.
Mario, I
Yep.
apologize. Take it away.
Definitely a good sandbox again to give us that peace of mind. Um, so after I cloned my site with the staging pretty easily, just with one click. I click the radio button here to activate and sign into the staging. So it'll create it like a subfolder if you need to know where this is in your file manager. And we'll also see this notification here at the top to let us know that the staging environment is currently active and being worked on. So maybe we can change my theme.
And Robert, if you're watching, you can see the top it says staging environment in that red box. So that lets you know which part of your website you're in. And Brett, to answer your question, this is in the Bluehost plugin that gives you that opportunity for staging.
Yep, that's right. So in this example, I activated the cadence theme here from the Astra theme that I currently had set up. So we can go back to staging. Let's actually preview our site here first. Not too many noticeable changes, but let's go back to staging. Let's say that this theme is all set up. We're happy with it. We can just hit this deploy all changes. So before we do, we'll have one more security check, and this should be launching all of our changes here from staging.
Which in this case would just essentially be a new theme.
hmm So this is a good example. Again, like if we're setting up a pretty robust plugin, maybe developing our shop, we're not ready to launch, and we really don't want to do live construction on the website. Staging is good. We want to flesh things out, make sure we have our payment gateways fully functioning, the shop set up the way we want it to. And so now that was all changed and we have a success message here. So I'm still in staging. So let's go back to our live site. Again, with this, definitely would recommend just hanging out here and being patient.
So if you do run into errors or anything like this, then you can also reach out to our tech support, and we'll put that number up in just a second. But
Mhm.
hopefully, I know that was a little bit of a deeper dive on staging, so hopefully that answers some of those questions. Um, I know that this is not a full production website. This is, if I'm not mistaken, Mario, this is one of just like a demo website that you've kind of thrown together quickly. So it
Mhm.
could be that there's something deeper going on with that. But um, okay, so one last time, Jamie, I see to enter into the staging environment, log into your WordPress dashboard. Once you're
Mhm.
in your WordPress dashboard, up in the top left, if you have a Bluehost account, there should be a menu item, right, is Mario showing, that says Bluehost. When you're there, there's two different ways. You can click on the staging down below, or over on the right side, there's an option there. And once you click on that, that should take you to the staging area. Okay, last question, Catherine. Would you recommend purchasing a theme annually or lifetime? I'm going to give my answer, and then Mario,
Mhm.
I'm curious if your answer will be the same.
Yeah, sure.
I personally would go annually because websites change and evolve, and as that happens, that theme might not fit anymore. Um, I think there's some designer rule of thumb that said you should do like a website redesign like every 3 to 5 years or something like that. Um, so I would recommend doing annually unless the lifetime price is like the cost of 2 years or something like that. Then I might entertain it. But if it's more expensive, or if it's yeah, I would probably lean towards just paying annually unless it's significantly less expensive to just do the lifetime as compared to paying for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I'm right behind you on that. Lifetime, I would probably only recommend if you're helping developing sites. Normally, they'll give you unlimited licenses that you can use that that theme for other websites. But like Devin said, things do change, they improve. You might want to refresh. Um, so an annual might be the right way.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for sticking it out to the end with us. I appreciate you making it through the technical difficulties. Mario, thanks for not giving up on us. I appreciate you making it back and join us for the Q&A section.
Oh yeah,
We will,
so sorry about that.
yeah, no worries. We'll probably create a recording for you all and send that out. So thank you so much for tuning in. We had our Q&A, and thank you all for joining us. And we hope to see you again soon.
Bye everybody.
Bye.